1 minute.
The things we need to worry about. That's call this Planning Commission meeting to order for Tuesday, February 6, 2024. Can we get a roll call, please?
Commissioner Richards? Alderperson Denham? Here. Commissioner Green?
Here.
Commissioner Hillis?
Here.
Chairperson Groman?
Here.
Vice Chairperson Dieger?
Here.
Commissioner Lloyd?
Here.
Commissioner Martinowski?
Here.
Commissioner O'Day?
Here.
Commissioner Gore? We have a quorum.
This time, if you please stand, we'll say the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. This is the time in our meeting where members of the public can speak regarding city business that this Planning Commission has jurisdiction or authority to take action on, which is not listed on the agenda for the public hearing. We ask that you be mindful of everybody's time and refrain from making comments that are repetitive. We ask the members of the public to please keep your comments to 5 minutes or less. For any meeting where 10 or more speakers sign up to speak, never mind, we don't have to worry about that. Please state your name and whether you are a Branson resident or not when you come up. Do we have anybody wants to speak public comment tonight?
We don't have anybody signed up.
That being the case, we'll move right on. First item on the regular agenda is the approval of the Planning Commission meetings for the December 5th, 2023 regular meeting. Has the commission had a chance to review the minutes? Are there any comments, concerns, or questions regarding the minutes? I will now entertain a motion to approve the December 5th, 2023 meeting minutes.
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call vote. Alderperson Denham? Yes. Commissioner Green?
Yes.
Commissioner Hillis?
Yes.
Chairperson Groman?
Yes.
Vice Chairperson Dieger?
Yes.
Commissioner Lloyd?
Yes.
Commissioner Martinowski?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Day?
Yes.
8 votes yea, 0 nay. Motion carried.
First item on the regular agenda is the approval of Planning Commission minutes for the January 4th, 2024 regular meeting. Has the commission had a chance to review the minutes?
Yep.
Are there any comments or concerns or questions regarding the minutes? I will now entertain a motion to approve the January 4th, 2024 meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion.
Do I
I'll
have a second?
second that motion.
Roll call vote. Alderperson Denham? Yes. Commissioner Green?
Yes.
Commissioner Hillis?
Yes.
Chairperson Groman?
Yes.
Vice Chairperson Dieger?
Yes.
Commissioner Lloyd?
Yes.
Commissioner Martinowski?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Day?
Yes.
The result of the vote, 8 votes yea, 0 nay. Motion carried.
First item on the public hearing is a request for municipal code amendments to Chapter 94-60 pertaining to the table of permitted uses and tattooed parlors. Can I get a motion to bring this item to the floor?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Would the staff like to provide information on this item?
Yes, sir. Okay, it kind of feels like deja vu on these, but just to give you a little update, so everybody's on the same page of where these items have gone since they left you guys on December. But back on December 5th, Planning Commission meeting, staff presented one staff report that contained 2 code amendments for tattoo parlors and manufactured modular housing. Commission recommended approval for the amendment pertaining to tattoo parlors as recommended by staff. The commission amended staff's recommendation for the manufactured modular housing to require a special use permit for both manufactured and modular housing within the Ag, LDR, MDR, and HDR zoning districts. So then it went on to the Board of Aldermen, January 9th, and staff presented as recommended from Planning Commission. And during that meeting, the board recommended the item be postponed indefinitely, advising staff to separate the amendment requests, provide additional clarity on the subject matter, and then take it back through the Planning Commission and for the Board of Aldermen for reconsideration. So for tonight, that's what we've done. We've separated these 2 reports, these 2 amendments into 2 reports to address both of these amendments for your consideration. So the first one tonight is tattoo parlors. I'm not going to repeat a whole bunch of this. I think we're all kind of on the same page, but here's the definition of tattoo parlors in our municipal code. And just a reminder kind of how we got here. So currently, tattoo parlors are not permitted within the NC Neighborhood Commercial Zoning District. And so Planning Department, just over the past 6-8 months, have had recent interest for tattoo parlors to be located in the NC zoning district. So as we looked through our code, it seemed that tattoo services are closely related to other personal services and often overlap with these services, such as barbershops, beauty shops, and spas. And those uses are allowed and permitted currently in the NC zoning district. So again, in researching the licensing process with the state of Missouri for tattoo parlors, it's pretty tightly regulated process for licensing. Several steps have to be taken. You know, they have to have CPR training, the OSHA bloodborne pathogens course, 300 hours of training for tattoo artistry, proof of practical experience, inspections, business licensing, all kinds of stuff. So with those reasons, staff proposes to amend the table of permitted uses to allow tattoo parlors within the NC zoning district. And that's all for that one. Happy to answer any questions.
Any commissioners have any questions?
I do.
Sir?
This is a quickie. Why did the alderman send it back to divide up? Is there a reason or a
You know, I
discussion
think
on
it
that?
was the same reason you guys had requested to be separated in the future. I think it was a little confusing. I think it might have been a combination of things. It might have been late at night. I think it got confusing when we started talking about the modular and the manufactured, and words were flying all over, and yeah, I think it just got some confusing.
I'll apologize to you. I should have been at that meeting, and I wasn't. Maybe I could have headed off some of it, but it was confusing. But that's why it's back. I have a question. Am I correct that tattoo parlors will be authorized in the same districts that barber shops, beauty shops, and other things are now authorized in, correct? That's all we're doing is...
That's correct.
Now's the comment for the public to comment if you have any comments you want to make. Would anyone else like to speak on this item? Obviously, no, we've all done it, okay. Hearing none, I will close the public hearing and entertain a motion to approve the request for municipal code amendment to Chapter 94-60 pertaining to the table of permitted uses and tattoo parlors.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chair.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I'll now call for a vote.
Alderperson Denham,
Yes.
Commissioner Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Hillis,
Yes.
Chairperson Groman,
Yes.
Vice Chairperson Dieger,
Yes.
Commissioner Lloyd,
Yes.
Commissioner Martinoski,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Day.
Yes.
The result of the vote, 8 votes yea, 0 nay. Motion carried.
The second item on the public hearing is a request for municipal code amendments to Chapter 94-60 pertaining to the table of permitted uses, manufactured homes, and modular housing. Can I get a motion to bring this item to the floor?
I'll make the motion.
Second?
I'll second.
Does staff like to provide information on this item?
I do. This is kind of jammed up right now. Stephen, I don't know if you can push it along for me or not. Oh, thank you. There we go. Okay, so the second public hearing is regarding the manufactured and modular structures. Just a little background for a reminder. This came to the city's attention when we were fielding phone calls from citizens interested in constructing manufactured housing within the city. So we went to our table of uses and looked at it, and sure enough, it was permitted by right, you know, no big deal. So we thought that was a little odd. We started looking at modular housing, and those were requiring a special use permit. And then we looked more into the definitions of each. It seemed like it was backward. So for manufactured housing, the code has significant lists of conditions required to be met for manufactured housing, and modular does not. So again, we feel like the manufactured housing was a use that was intended to be a special use permit to meet all those conditions and to have kind of a second layer of regulation serving as a check and balance. So what we are proposing is the same amendment as we did in December as far as staff's recommendation, which is to reverse the permissions for these uses by designating modular housing as a use by right and requesting a special use permit for manufactured housing in Ag, LDR, MDR, and HDR. I don't know if you can see that up there. So just a little history of kind of what staff has done since then. In 1974, there was the National Mobile Home Construction and Safety Act that was approved. And essentially, this created construction code standards for manufactured homes, which drastically changed building codes. And this is considered the HUD Title VI construction standards. And it also, with this act, it distinguished mobile homes and manufactured homes from one another. 1980, there was the Housing Act of 1980, which mandated the term manufactured be used in place of mobile, referencing manufactured homes built after 1976. So I have a table up here, and it just kind of is a comparison, contrasting table for both modular and manufactured homes. So if you look through the modular section, it conforms to the IBC IRC standards, which is the International Building Code, International Residential Code. It's a true stick built structure. Could be built on site, could be built off site, transported to site. It has a permanent foundation, typically higher roof pitch, typically no title, it's real property, and it could be built off site, delivered in sections. For our manufactured characteristics, it conforms, if it's truly a manufactured structure, which the federal government has said those are mobile homes, it would have to conform to the HUD Title VI standards, which is an appendix to the IRC. This structure type has steel beam chassis, an axle, and it truly can be mobile. There is typically no permanent foundation unless converting to real property, which I'll get to in a little bit. Typically, it has lower roof pitch, and it has a title. It's considered personal property. built off-site, delivered in panels. So something Commissioner Gore had mentioned, I don't think he's here tonight, but he had mentioned in the December meeting that, well, I think maybe you can convert to real property or this, that, and the other. So we looked into that, and sure enough, in 2011, there was the Missouri Senate Bill number 630 that was passed that established procedures for converting manufactured homes into real property. It's called a fixation. And then you can also convert real property back to personal property, and it's called severance. It sounded like something that you would just go through your county assessors, and you have to file an affidavit. And then the one stickler of it is if you do take personal property, convert it into real property, that structure has to be on a permanent foundation. It's stuck again, Stephen. There we go. So we had some pictures last time, and we still do. This is a photo of the modular structures, and just a reminder that the review of these are based on the IRC. It will typically come with a state stamped inspection for the plumbing and electrical, and it's considered real property. I don't know why this one is not working, but it's stuck again. There we go. The modular structure, that's a picture of a modular structure. You can see the steel beams, the chassis, the distance between that and the ground. So this is typically based on an appendix. The review is based on an appendix of the IRC, and it does not require interior inspections for plumbing and electrical, because it's considered personal property. It comes with that HUD Title VI stamp certification approvals. I don't know if you can push it along, Stephen. Thank you. So back to what I was saying with the manufactured homes. If one does come in for review, this is going to be something where a building permit comes in, goes to our plan reviewers. They're going to see what kind of structure it is, how it's been designed, professionally designed. And if it fits the manufactured home, that's going to alert us that, oh, you have to have a special use permit if you guys change that tonight. And then, by the way, we've got 16 provisions that they also have to meet to be in compliance, which one of them is to be on a permanent foundation. So with that, the code amendment, staff is recommending approval of this proposed code amendment, and it's just to inverse those two, manufactured modular to allow modular permitted by right, manufactured permitted through a special use permit, and then in compliance with those 16 provisions. Be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from, yeah.
If you were to do a modular home, even though it comes with a stamped, potentially stamped from the manufacturer stating that, it follows all the plumbing, HVAC, electrical components, everything to code, does that mean it still has to go through the building process for inspections, everything associated?
It does, yeah. It would still require a building permit. We would be, if it does have those stamps certified for the plumbing and electrical interior-wise, we would still be looking at the hookups to the electrical for the site and inspections and foundation and all of that. Which is kind of interesting because talking to a couple folks in our building division, they've never seen one come through for review, an actual modular structure. So it's not like it's something that's 10 of them a week or something, I think they're more expensive. We just really haven't seen them here in Branson.
Any other comments?
I did have one question and one thing I was looking at earlier today, and that's that when it's a new manufactured home, it can be placed on an individual lot within a residential zoning district, correct?
Correct.
But if it's a pre-owned, if it's been sold, it cannot be placed on an individual lot.
Yeah, there is. So on this right here, we do have that provision in our ordinance that says if you, just what you said, pre-owned manufactured homes may not be moved onto an individual lot within the city.
Only a new manufactured home, that's correct? Is that what I'm getting out of all that?
That's
If it's
how it-
pre-owned and it's been sold and it's already been owned before, you cannot move that onto an individual lot within the city.
That's what that sentence says to me, yes.
Am I correct that at this particular point in time, absent us taking action tonight, that manufactured homes, which are one of the two types of general homes we're talking about, manufactured, which is a trailer, and all other homes, stick-built, et cetera, fall under modular? If we don't make this change tonight, then as we sit here right now, manufactured homes, providing they meet those predetermined conditions, can be put in these without any special permit.
Right now, yes. We're proposing to require a special use permit for manufactured homes. But as far as like all the other ones, they're not just modular. I mean, it's just a regular single-family home, stick-built. But we don't even like call that out. It just meets building code.
I'm just trying to get straight in my own mind. There's, for practical purposes, there's two types of buildings that we deal with under our current statutes. One is manufactured homes, which are what I would call a trailer. The other is modular homes, which cover everything else from stick-built to kit
Essentially.
homes.
Yep.
And right now, today, trailers can be moved into these residential areas without any special permit, as long as they meet the other requirements.
That's correct.
As long as
Mr.
they're
Chairman?
new.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I just want to make a comment on this. Just like Jennifer went back on the history, prior to the citywide zoning that took place, we had 3 locations where mobile home community, mobile home park, because we used to have mobile home zoning within the city. So there were actual locations of where they could be located. After the zoning took place, it's my understanding that 2 of the existing are in HDR, and it's an allowed use in that location. One of them is located in community commercial. So they are legal nonconforming, which really, for the protection of property rights in the LDR, the MDR, I'm going to be, I totally support the modular homes as a permitted use, but when it comes to the manufactured housing, I believe that we need to really protect property rights and take control of where they can be located. I really wish we did have mobile home communities, or at least a definition in our code to where if people want to create that type of a community, especially with all the talk that we hear about low-income housing for our workers here, that would be a good thing, a positive thing to do in the community, to locate them where they actually do fit in. There can be buffering, there can, it would offer a good location, and people would be able to take part in where they want the zoning. So I feel strongly that to protect the property rights, that we allow by special use permit only the manufactured housing and agricultural zoning, and this would give us a chance to be able to have that discussion.
You have an excellent point, but as we sit here right now, absent us doing something, they can move a manufactured home into all these areas with no special use permit. Would it be acceptable to bring that up under reports and ask staff to conduct a study on it?
Well, as far as the manufacturing housing discussion, yes. However, I'm going to be making an amendment that the only, instead of special use permit in all of the residential districts, be making a request to amend this to include manufactured housings in agriculture by special use permit only, no other zones.
Do you want to make that motion for the amendment? And
If it is time to make the request for amendment, I move to amend the manufactured housing use to include ag as special use permitted and to not include any other zoning district.
Do I have a second? I'll second it for discussion. Is there any discussion on the motion as amended, on the amendment?
I'm gonna ask Ruth, please, re-explain that to me a little bit. Help me a little bit with it.
As this is presented to us this evening, in the red, it shows special use permit required for manufactured housing in all of those districts. So in any residential district, someone can get a special use permit and locate a mobile home next to a, just located in any zoning. If we, and I'm asking for the amendment to just include it in the ag zoning only and not permitted in any other area, because we currently have 3 locations where mobile homes exist. And that would allow for further conversation on this. With the special use permit.
Do we have legal counsel available tonight? Because I have a question.
Yes, we do.
Our notice talks specifically about just requiring special permits. Can we make this amendment without, because it could impact people in these different zonings and they've had no notice. I just want to make sure we don't create a problem.
I don't think we can hear Holly.
No, we can't hear you. She said she can't unmute.
Could she call in possibly? Is that?
Okay, I have Holly Dodge on speaker.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Did that stop the echo?
Turn the mic off on the computer.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Sounds better.
Okay, I killed the feed. So you put everyone on notice that at issue today is manufactured homes and modular homes. You then have the ability to modify that within that area. It would be different if you made changes, say, to cemeteries and mausoleums, that they would not be on notice in regards to. But it's clear you put them on notice, especially because they re-advertised for tonight, that the issue being addressed specifically here is manufactured homes and modular homes.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, ma'am.
Right now, currently, one of the districts where manufactured homes are included is community commercial, and it is a legal non-conforming, so it wouldn't change anything. It would just keep it as legal non-conforming for all of the manufactured homes that are currently located within the city.
So for all practical purposes, we're talking about something that might happen in the future. We're not going to impact on anybody that's already there now.
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you.
And I
And
understand.
Mr. Chair, this is Holly again. She's correct in that any changes you make that are then later approved by the board would then only affect from that point forward. Everything that is in place currently would continue to be a legal non-conforming use.
Thanks, Holly.
I guess part of what I'm looking at, and I understand what you're saying, let's say that there is a manufactured home on a piece of agricultural. They then cannot sell that home and still be allowed, because you can't have a pre-owned manufactured home that can be moved or on the individual lot. Correct? Because it's pre-owned. They can't sell it, they can't, unless it's
could
brand
sell
new.
it. What the issue is whether or not it can be initially placed. Whether a manufactured home, once it is initially placed, it is a property that would be moved from point A to point B. Moving that initial ownership to point B would be where it is previously owned, and that would be prohibited. Because if you think about it, all of those certifications on a manufactured home come from the creator of that manufactured home. And they would only certify that to the point that it is initially installed. From the point that it's moved then from point A to point B, it would no longer be protected by the certification. You would, however, be able to, as long as that manufactured home is placed in point A, sell it to owner B as long as it remained in point A. We don't evaluate homes when they're sold. We only evaluate them for them being within our ordinances at the point it is modified to a certain extent or initially installed or built.
Thanks, Holly. Any other comments from commissioners on the amendment?
I do. Okay, I'm just going to clarify for myself. What we're doing on the amendment, though, is restricting manufactured homes more, where
Yes.
they can be located, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Any other comments from commissioners?
You're actually prohibiting them in 3 of the designations, LDR, MDR, and HDR, and you're modifying them in the agricultural from permitted to special use.
Should we take comment from the public on the proposed amendment? Any comments from the public on the proposed amendment? Any other comments from the commissioners? Can we call for a vote on the amendment then at this time?
Do we have a motion, a first and a second?
Well, we did. She made the motion, I seconded it.
Okay, got it. All right, Alderperson Denham,
Yes.
Commissioner Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Hillis,
Yes.
Chairperson Groman,
Yes.
Vice Chairperson Dieger,
Yes.
Commissioner Lloyd,
Yes.
Commissioner Martinoski,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Day.
Yes.
Okay, we have 8 votes yay, 0 nay for the amendment. Motion carried.
Now we get down to the amended motion. Are there any commissioners have any comments they want to make on the motion as amended? Any public comment? We have a vote?
Alderperson Denham,
Yes.
Commissioner Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Hillis,
Yes.
Chairperson Groman,
Yes.
Vice Chairperson Dieger,
Yes.
Commissioner Lloyd,
Yes.
Commissioner Martinoski,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Day.
Yes.
8 votes yay, 0 nay. Motion carried as amended.
Thank you. This concludes the public hearing for tonight's agenda. Now on to reports. Do I I have any reports from the commissioners?
Nope.
The next item on the agenda would be for adjournment. Our next meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, March 5th, 2024 at 6 p.m. in the council chambers. I will now entertain a motion to adjourn the February 6th, 2024 Planning Commission meeting.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
would they have reports? I believe they do.
Good idea. Thanks. Okay. I'm excited to hear.
The warm body's coming up.
The warm body's up here. Sorry, Nikki, I'm going to hold you to that one for a minute. Good evening. I am just really quick. The City of Branson's Planning and Development Department would like to invite the Planning Commission to the study session that we're going to have on Tuesday, February the 13th at 4:30. This will be in the administrative conference room. We would like for you to engage in discussions concerning the 76 corridor zoning and development. And I've just, I'm going to have trouble tonight. Your participation and insights will be invaluable as we navigate this important aspect of our community's growth and planning. We look forward to seeing you there, and thank you for your time this evening.
It is with hesitation that I say, the next item on the agenda would be an adjournment. Our next meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, March 5th, 2024 at 6 p.m. in the council chambers. I will now entertain a motion to adjourn the February 6th, 2024 Planning Commission meeting.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call vote. Alderperson Denham?
Yes.
Commissioner Green?
Yes.
Commissioner Hillis?
Yes.
Chairperson Groman?
Yes.
Vice Chairperson Dieger?
Yes.
Commissioner Lloyd?
Yes.
Commissioner Martinowski?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Day?
Yes.
Result of the vote, 8 votes yea, 0 nay. Motion carried at 6:36 p.m.